Being a content creator is hard stuff. I think it's one of those things where it gets so easy to see all these YouTubers or all these influencers living their best life. And then you start to think, oh, that could be me. Oh, I just have to create 5 videos or make 5 posts. And all of a sudden, my life will change and I'll have extra money coming in and I'll be able to pay this off or pay that off. And the thing is, I think it gets so easy to compare yourself to other influencers where you might be 200, 300 videos in and you still feel like you haven't gained the traction that these other influencers have gained. And so I wanted to make this video to talk about how the struggle can be real when you're trying to create something because you want to make content that you're passionate about, but you also don't want to get caught up in getting so hyper focused on analytics and views or lack of views that you end up quitting essentially. You end up just not chasing your dream because you got so caught up in where you are right now that you forgot to take into account where you could be. And you forgot to take into account that even if you don't have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people watching your content every day, that doesn't mean that what you're doing is a waste of time. And this is why whenever I'm thinking about rappers or singers or just artists or actors in general, I just think about how they put so much time and effort into a craft that may or may not pay off. There's a chance that they could go big, and then, of course, they can get their mom a house, all these things, whatever, get whatever car they want. But there's also a chance that they might not blow up. They might not get the traction that they desire. And I've just always respected the ability of somebody to grind and to work towards something that may or may not happen. Because it's not like going to dental school or going to med school where when you just know that, okay, at the end of 4 years, as long as I do what I need to do, it will pay off in the long run. And I'll end up getting to that point of being able to take care of things that I need to take care of. With just trying to become an influencer, you just don't know if there's going to be that payoff. And that's why I think for me, when I first started creating content, I figured, oh, well, it'll be no time before I know it. I'll be able to buy all the shoes that I want. I'll be able to take care of anything that I need to take care of in terms of bills and all that stuff. And because of that, I found myself chasing things that I thought would get me a bag quickly. I was creating Shopify stores, Etsy stores, doing print on demand stuff, anything that I figured would bring me the most money the fastest. And what I realized from doing that is no matter how fast you try to chase things, things will always elude you if you're in it for the wrong reasons. If you're not starting a Shopify store because you genuinely enjoy it and you want to learn about how it works, it's not going to take off for you because after a week or two, when you've been working at it, you feel like you should have gotten to a certain place. If you haven't gotten to that point yet, you're going to get frustrated and then you're going to quit. And this is what was also happening to me with my YouTube channel. I feel like I've kind of talked about it before, but just kind of talking about how it gets easy to enter these different flows of 1 minute you're super focused and super motivated to make content, and the next minute all of a sudden you're like, oh well, I feel like I wasted my time creating this video or creating that video and it didn't pop off the way that I was hoping it would. And what we tend to do in that situation is we stop making videos for 2 months, 3 months. And what we don't realize is it's that 2 months or 3 months that we weren't making content that maybe things could have changed drastically. And I think about that, especially with my channel, because the first video that I posted was probably maybe like 5 years ago. And I just think maybe had I been consistent for the entire time, my YouTube channel could have been in a different place. And so whenever I think about that, I think about how important it is to not allow yourself to get so caught up in being frustrated that you lose sight of the ultimate goal. Because the goal with YouTube should be to make content that you're passionate about, to make content that can make an impact on other people's lives. And it's important that when we're doing that, that we not get so fixated on the results, that we not get so fixated on, oh, is this making money yet? Have I made money from this? Have I made money from that? And with this being New Year's, I really want to make that my goal to get to the point where I'm making content with good intentions, and I'm more focused on telling stories and the quality of my content than I am about blowing up or, going viral and essentially, trying to make money or get views. And I think ultimately it's in doing that, especially in this day and age with AI and all of these things. One of the ways that as content creators we can differentiate ourselves is by focusing on our story, by focusing on a story behind our content, and not just putting content out there for the sake of it, and not just having content that comes across as like too preachy or makes people seem like they're inferior, because I was really struggling with that as well with the direction of my content. I didn't want to make the kind of content that would make people feel worse about themselves, or the type of content that would make it look as though I'm above somebody just because I don't struggle with something they're struggling with anymore. Because as humans, we're all meant to relate to one another, and we're all meant to kind of grow together. And as one person figures something out, it's up to them in terms of how they're going to help someone else make those changes as well, so they don't struggle with the same things. And I think that's what's so cool about social media, is that through social media, you can learn from others' mistakes without having to make them yourself. So if you never had, a father figure or an older brother, through social media, you can learn a lot about your finances, about personal development, about growing closer to God. And you can learn these things and still change the trajectory of your life, because it's through learning these things that we put ourselves in a position to then be able to help others from what we know. And so then it becomes a trickle down effect of, once I learn something, I can help somebody else so they don't get caught up in the same things that I, screwed up in or made mistakes in. And so, yeah, you guys, I wanted to make this video real quick just to kind of be honest and transparent and talk about the struggles that can come from trying to be a content creator, the struggles that can come from imposter syndrome and comparing yourself to other people that are already a few steps ahead of you, and how easy it is to compare, to look at someone who's on their 50th step in their journey and to look at us being on the first step. And it gets easy to forget that there's that distance there in terms of the time and effort that somebody else has been putting in. And so I hope, if you're a content creator, I hope this video inspired you to continue to create content, to not give up, and to realize that your purpose is truly what needs to be taken into account here. Because your purpose isn't about how much money you make. It's not about how many views you have or going viral. Your purpose is in making content that could change somebody's life, that could change their way of thinking. And even if it might not be millions of people, your content could be the video that changes one person's life. And I saw a thread or something the other day that talked about how if your content only impacted one person, would that be good enough for you? And that's something as content creators that you truly have to ask yourself before you even get started, on this journey is if you never go viral or if you never become a millionaire from the content and from the things that you do, will you be satisfied with that? And so for me, that's something that I've really had to kind of come to terms with in the sense that I've had to realize that me chasing a viral video or a viral idea is the exact same reason that I'm not growing the way that I should. Because I truly just want to show up as my authentic self and to create content that's valuable to you guys. And so if you guys stayed for this entire video, I appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe and let me know what you guys took away from this video. And I'll talk to all you guys in the next one.